We are live. Hi, everyone.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Oh, you're going to do that again? Muy bien. Tu comment ça va? Bonjour tout le monde. Uh, episode 188 of the All Dolphins podcast, our live preview of the Buffalo Bills matchup for week 18, which will determine the AFC title. Very simple for the Dolphins. They win, number 2 seed. They will face Buffalo, Jacksonville, or Pittsburgh in the first round of the playoffs. If they lose, they will be the number 6 seed, and they will play at Kansas City next weekend. We don't know when. It could be Saturday night, Sunday, Saturday during the day, or even Monday. Remember, we got extra day of first round playoffs nowadays with 7 seeds in each conference. Episode 188, very quickly, retrospective of the 88 season. Not much to talk about. It was a crap year. Dolphins were 6-10 that year. Is one of only 2 seasons for Don Shula's Dolphins head coach when the Dolphins had a losing record. The other one was 1976. I can't think off the top of my head of anything that stands out from that season other than I broke my thumb one time in October playing street hockey and had to cover a game with a broken thumb and a big metal splint around my thumb and trying to button a shirt, which was a
Hold on. Make this make sense for me. Exactly where do you play street hockey? And I'm assuming those are on rollerblades, right?
No, there's rollerblade, there's roller hockey on rollerblades, and then there's also street hockey on good old sneakers. And there was such a thing as
you're running around with a stick
and a ball. And a ball, and there was such a thing as a South Florida Street Hockey League, and played in it for we had 15 seasons or so, and happened to break my thumb one of these years. So that's the only I can remember from the 88 season. The Dolphins, as I said, as I recall correctly, it began with a 34-7 loss at Chicago and ended with a 40-24 loss at Pittsburgh. Dan Marino threw for a lot of passes, but didn't accomplish a whole lot. Again, Dolphins were 6-10. So let's bring it back to this Saturday, January 6, 2024. Dolphins made their usual Saturday moves. They involved, as expected, Jerome Baker being activated from injured reserve. As expected, Melvin Ingram being elevated from the practice squad. Baker took the spot of Bradley Chubb, who was put on IR. And finally, cornerback Ethan Bonner also was elevated from the practice squad.
Man, that was predictable as well. I actually predicted all 3 moves, which early in the day. I don't know why the Dolphins waited till 4 p.m. to announce it. I guess it's gamesmanship or strategy, whatever you want to call it.
Or to annoy me because I could have written the story beforehand.
Bro, you wrote the story and it came out 1 minute after the announcement was released.
I know, but I mean, it's like the Dolphins this year. I've had this thing that they always have to put in their moves, release their moves after the other team does it. It's like, I don't know, whatever. The Buffalo moves today, for those not aware, they have removed center Mitch Morse from the injury report. Remember, he didn't practice Friday with an illness, was questionable. Well, he's playing. It means that everybody on the Bills' 53-man roster is good to go. The Dolphins have, remember, those 2 questionables. We can remove Jerome Baker from being questionable considering he was activated. So that leaves Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert as questionable. And then the Bills also elevated veteran running back Leonard Fournette from their practice squad. Oh, and for those who were asking, because this came up on Twitter, it could become a must-win game for the Bills if the Pittsburgh Steelers win at Baltimore and the game just started, and the Jacksonville Jaguars win at Tennessee to capture the AFC South, because then the Bills would be in a win or out situation if those 2 scenarios occur. If Pittsburgh or Jacksonville loses, then the Bills will have clinched a playoff berth before the game Sunday night.
This is not a wine cooler. It's just ginger beer. I'm not ashamed to drink a wine cooler. To answer the question that I saw in the comments, I'm not a heavy alcohol drinker. So
I like our buddy Dana said, let Omar drink whatever he wants. You go, Dana.
Yeah, I'm testing out new alcohols. Just full sake transparency. Alcohol gives me migraines lately, and I'm still trying to figure out which kind of alcohol gives me migraines. So I'm testing out whiskey at the present moment. Not a huge fan, but
Yeah.
just need alcohol for social situations. I'm not a big drinker to begin with.
No, and I'm not a big drinker either. I used to like the occasional glass of wine, but right now I'm like on a health watch, so I'm like being very careful, like doing keto thing and staying away from alcohol.
Yeah, we got to make sure you survive, Poupard.
I know. Yeah, the weight was getting out of control, and I wasn't feeling particularly well for a bit, and it was time to address it. So,
it's exercise. It's exercise.
Well, that's part of it, and I haven't done a lot. I work too hard for all the good folks out there, and don't do enough exercise. But I have vowed not New Year's resolution because that's whatever, but about to start playing tennis again. So,
people are asking me because I did address this on a tweet. Omar, can you talk about Brent Grimes? Miko put out a post. Everybody knows I'm friends with Miko and Brent. Miko put out a post that, and Brent goes to the games. Brent lives down here. Brent is, I guess they've ended their beef with the Dolphins franchise, which, let's let old beefs lay where they are. That Brent would play for the veteran minimum, or whatever, or $75,000. And I don't really think it's viable for this game, especially now, because you can't add anybody to the roster at this point. But I thought about it for the playoffs because I'm of the opinion, and those who know me know I don't really shy away from my opinions or what I think.
Really? Since when?
If Xavier Howard can't come back, and I highly doubt that he can come back, your season's done. And I have that opinion because, one, you're not going to play anybody other than Eli Apple and Kader Kohu. And when we look at their body of work for the season and the caliber of quarterbacks that you're going to play in the playoffs, it's not looking too good for you. Especially if you don't have, let's say, a Jalen Ramsey shadowing your opposition's best player. Now, maybe you can get past Kansas City. Maybe. Because they don't have a good receiver. You figure out your Jalen on Kelsey, and you figure it out for everybody else. No, you don't like that?
Jalen on Kelsey? That's a weird one.
Travis on Jalen on Travis.
I know who Kelsey is. Yeah, got you on that one. It's just it's a weird one to me. But go ahead.
Okay. I know Brent's in great shape. Brent plays tennis just about 5 days a week and still runs the same hill that he runs when he was training. They're training their son to be a tennis player, and he's in tennis academy. Brent is always in great shape. And Brent's probably one of the best athletes that I've ever seen. I think I've recently seen him, not this year, but maybe last year, do his patented jumping straight out of a pool thing, where he doesn't use stairs to get out of a pool. He actually just jumps from the inside the pool to outside the pool, which I just think is absolutely ridiculous. And I know he's in great shape. When you're a 14-year veteran, it's zoner, man. You've played in every scheme. You've called it every single possible thing. The guy next to you can let you know what you're playing, or they can send you signals from the sideline because you're actually a boundary corner. I think you could figure it out. I don't think it's that hard. And is a Brent Grimes who hasn't played in 5 years better than the Eli Apple? In my opinion, probably.
Okay, but let's be realistic here. In a real world, exactly, and I know, again, I don't want to. I'm going to be very polite in how I say this because I know you have a relationship with the Grimes. In the real world, what exactly is the percentage of likelihood of that happening? Is it 1% or less than that? Come on.
I would put it I would put it probably 1% because you're probably not going to be smart enough to actually know that you don't have what you need at cornerback and just let your season die on the hill that you're on. Do you have enough at cornerback right now?
Here's the other thing too is, I mean, Brent can be the greatest athlete in the world, and he is a fabulous athlete, no question about it. I'm not disputing that. like you said, the dude hasn't played in 5 years. 5 years. 2018 was his last season. Are we really suggesting that the dude's going to come out from his couch, from the tennis courts, first of all, number one, he would have to put on a show at a workout for the Dolphins if they were even inclined to remotely think about that possibility.
That I don't even worry about.
Oh, okay. And then have the Dolphins incorporate him into that. I'm not, to me, I think I saw that tweet when you put it out and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Do you remember it was the safety for the Los Angeles Rams? Damn, why does the name escape me? He's a David Cantor client.
Yes, Eric Weddle.
Eric Weddle.
Hadn't been out of the NFL for 5 years.
No, you're right. I agree with you. The 5 years is a lot. I think he might be 40 now, which
I had him up. I had his page up right here. Hold on. I can tell you right now. Brent is 40 years old.
Yeah. And I would tell you, generally, it sounds crazy, but if you know the caliber of athlete that Brent is, and you do know the caliber of athlete he is, you're saying that it's just not possible, right?
It's crazy, to be honest with you. And like I said, it's an interesting idea and all that, but and really for the playoffs, I mean, because if I recall correctly, Eric Weddle signed like either very late in the season. I
thought he just joined for the playoffs.
Something else I can double check.
Give me a second.
As I look at for Eric Weddle, and while Omar is doing that, let's go ahead here. Again, I'm going to repeat this. I saw somebody put something else differently. The Bills will be playing for their playoff lives, if you want to use that expression, meaning win or out if Pittsburgh wins at Baltimore, the game that's going on right now, and Jacksonville at Tennessee. Nothing else needs to happen. If one of those two things does not happen, if either Pittsburgh or Jacksonville lose, the Bills clinch the playoffs, and then they will be playing for the seed. And in the AFC, the number 1 seed is locked in. The number 3 seed is locked in. That's KC. And the number 5 seed is locked in. That's Cleveland. So the only things that are in play are 2, 4, 6, 7. The winner of Houston and Indy Saturday night is in, but they could be a 6 or a 7, depending on other results. The winner of Buffalo, Miami obviously gets 2, and then Jacksonville could lose against Tennessee and still get in. They need other results as well. So, no, again, Omar, I don't necessarily poop on your idea, but to me,
you can poop on it. It's crazy. When I saw it, I thought it was crazy. Then I was like, crazy. He's still in a ridiculously good shape.
Hasn't played in 5 years.
Huh?
Hasn't played in 5 years.
When you played for 14 years, though, how much different is what you're doing man or zone? Like, honestly, tell me.
I'm not talking about from a knowledge standpoint. I'm talking about, and he could be as phenomenal an athlete as he wants. He's still 40 years old and hasn't played in 5 years. And
I don't disagree with you. Sounds crazy, but question is, are you certain that it's not better than Eli Apple?
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, given the circumstances, I'm certain it's not better than Eli Apple.
All right. Oh, hold on. That wasn't the one I wanted. Whoa.
Whiskey talk here.
Yeah. This is a good question.
Sorry. No, Vince makes a good point. Oh, you just.
Yeah, I don't like your Vince makes a good point. When they use the term walkthrough, what does it actually mean, Poupard? They have to physically walk. You want me to?
It means walk through plays. That's basically what they're doing. They're rehearsing plays they're going to run in the game, and they're doing it. It's either half speed, even quarter speed, or literally walking, just basically so everybody knows where they're supposed to go, the landmarks for the offensive linemen, the cutoff points for the routes and all that. That's what the term walkthrough means. It's not a practice per se, which is why you will have, like even Mike McDaniel told us that Friday before he spoke to us and before practice, they had a walkthrough, which again is not a regular practice. That's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's attack some of these over here. Fins RK, Thank you very much. Just want to thank you for all your work. I read and listen every day. The podcast has really helped me through a very sad period of my life. Love you both. I'll sorry to hear that and hope whatever it is that's going on gets better.
Yeah, man. Fins RK09. This too shall pass, my brother. Keep putting one foot ahead of the other. Some horrible things have generally happened to me in my life. And you know what? If you keep moving forward, sometimes whatever leaves you, you'll get twice as much back.
And your comment that whatever the little thing we do here has helped you during that time, I love it. You know, glad to do whatever we can to help you out. Chris, Omar, I think that's yours. What do you pay Tua?
Oh, you just gonna give it to me?
No, I'll address it too, but I want.
Yeah, they don't want my answer. They want your answer.
I'll go first. Okay, you want me to go first?
I generally am very good at the business side of this stuff. Right now, the baseline, the bare minimum, is the Justin Herbert deal, which has been trumped over 3 times already and will be surpassed probably another 2 times before the season's finished. You got Jacksonville, who's going to probably give Trevor Lawrence a contract that he doesn't deserve. You got Dallas having to re-up Dak Prescott.
Ouch, shot fired. Go ahead.
Quarterbacks right now, if you got a decent quarterback, you got a top 10 quarterback, you're giving him at least $200 million. And I'm going to conservatively say Tua is going to walk away with maybe 120 of it guaranteed fully. So that's where you are. And or you could do the Poupard piss him off route and make it play on the 5th-year contract and then threaten the franchise tag the next year. Ultimately, that will cost you relatively about $60 million for the next 2 years, which is fine. You could do that. You could go that route. But we all know that this organization loves Tua. They're going to try to take care of Tua, and hopefully they can come to some common ground on a deal. But
okay, here's the thing, though. See, the way Chris asked the question is, what do you pay Tua? The prediction is I'm like with Omar. I think the Dolphins are like hearts aflutter with Tua.
Goo eyes.
Yes, Google eyes and all that. So I do think they're going to sign the long-term extension with big money. I could see what you're saying with Herbert. I don't think he matches Burrow. I don't think he matches Burrow either. I don't even recall what Lamar got. But the premise is if it's me and under, again, this is your hypothetical, not mine. Your hypothetical that Tua plays bad the next 2 games. If it's me again, I absolutely sit on it. He plays on the 5th-year option.
I think you sit on it even if he plays well. Just me, I guess.
Me?
Yeah, you.
If he balls out the next 2 games, no. If he balls out the next 2 games, he's earned it.
Lamar Jackson got $185 million is guaranteed. 135 is fully guaranteed. 5 years, $260 million.
Yeah, I don't think he touches that either.
I don't know if he gets there, but I'm more in the 120 million fully guaranteed realm, and I'm pretty sure Tua's not going to turn his nose up at that. Now, he could, but also remember that you have injury history, injury risk, injury concern, and you can be one play away from having your hip shattered and maybe it ending your career. Taking that $120 million guaranteed might be a wise decision for you.
And which is why, for me, again, under the hypothetical, if he doesn't ball out, what's the hurry of making that long-term commitment to him? That, again, this is just
respect.
Respect, perform in big games. Again, under this hypothetical. And here's the thing. And I know one of the commentary I've gotten is, well, who else are you going to get? You don't need to get anybody else. He's under contract for next year.
Here's my problem with and I'm hopeful and I am optimistic and I'm waiting patiently for him to have his stones drop. They haven't yet.
Damn.
And
his minerals.
And I know it's going to happen eventually. Do I feel like it's going to happen when Tyreek is on one ankle and Jalen Waddle is on one ankle and Raheem Mostert is on one ankle and everybody on your offensive line is battling an injury?
That's when it needs to happen. That's exactly when it needs to happen. If you're gonna do this, that's when it needs to happen. No, as Omar is like,
I would feel way more comfortable if his arsenal was sound and his line was sound. And I get the point that you're making. I absolutely get the point that you're making. But you're expecting me to carry my team to the playoffs and a playoff win with Cedric Wilson as my number 2, as my number 3 weapon. Right?
Be shelling out the massive bucks. Absolutely. Otherwise, again, I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. Not everybody can make the Dolphin offense function the way Tua can. It's not like everybody can do it. But Pittsburgh just scored a touchdown, by the way. But it's not like there's not a decent number of quarterbacks who could. So if you're going to pay Tua like he is high level like that, he needs to be high level, and it's not just when
he wasn't high level when he statistically led the league in every statistical stat for an entire season. He wasn't high level when he's setting all kinds of franchise records. He wasn't high level when he was selected to his first Pro Bowl as a starter.
You're getting shackled to stats. And this is
how about the win-loss record? Can I get shackled to that?
No, because we've already established the one-loss record, or at least you should know by now that no, I'm not going to give you that. And by the way, if we're going to go, since you like to go with the passer rating so much, which basically is quarterback throws, and regardless of whatever happens around them, the help he gets or not doesn't help, it's strictly based on the end result of the play, which is extraordinarily rigid. The other extreme is QBR, which takes a human element of evaluation into play. 2 on the QBR is like 12 in the NFL. Okay, so when you keep throwing at me, who's number 1 in passer rating, so was Nick Foles.
Oh, wow. You're going to yawn it at me. Okay, all right.
It's not insignificant, but it's not the end-all, be-all that you keep making it.
All right, I see how you do me. Okay, I see how you do them. All right. Tuna's going to take notes.
I said what I said. Yeah, passer
rating. I know you said what you said. Tua right now is the number 4 rated quarterback in the NFL in terms of passer rating, behind
Brock Purdy's number 1, and you're not gonna tell me for half a second that Brock Purdy's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Brock Purdy's the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, so I will tell you that for half a second. And he's been there for majority of the season. 9.6 yards per attempt, 4,280 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, not sacked a lot. I'm sorry. Brock Purdy is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, and he's on his second year of doing it. So it's not a fluke. So like, you could sit here and you could disrespect Brock Purdy as much as you want. The numbers say he's the most efficient quarterback in the NFL. Now, is he the quarterback that I'm scared of? No.
Omar, the numbers are assigned to the quarterbacks, but if you don't think the fact that he has the best running back in the NFL, one of the most versatile, the top 5 wide receiver in Deebo Samuel, or all-purpose offensive player, maybe one of the top 3 tight ends in the NFL, one of the best offensive lines. If you don't think that factors into it, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Sorry.
It is what it is. The guy balled when he didn't have. He still won games when he didn't have a full injuries and a full arsenal.
No, they got their asses kicked. They lost 3 games in a row when they didn't have Trent Williams and McCaffrey. Precisely, no. And in fact, he took a ding on the national reputation level because of that. And I think we all know also, since he's a number 1 rated passer, he's not sniffing the MVP because Lamar Jackson is going to win it. Lamar Jackson, I think, is 7th in passer rating?
No, he's right behind Tua. Lamar Jackson.
I think he was 7th last I checked.
No, he's 5th. He's right behind Tua.
Right. Okay. But again, to me is, and I know you were a huge fan of the passer rating and all that. It's not the end all be all.
Still am.
Fine.
Still am.
You're allowed to be
Justin
wrong.
Herbert's number 13 in pass rating, by the way.
Oh, you didn't have a good year. Of course, circumstances around him were completely ideal. It was all him who totally sucked. Again,
Josh Allen is 17th in passer rating, by the way.
Yeah, how much does Josh Allen impact the game with his running, though? Again, watch the games.
Hold on, you're bringing up scrambling quarterbacks, and I didn't bring up scrambling quarterbacks in this equation.
Part of it.
It's not.
It's completely part of it. If you don't think Josh Allen impacts games with his
he
running,
does. Absolutely, okay. He does. We're not
talking about just strictly passers, and we're talking about quarterbacks and how they help their team win.
Okay, I mean, I get you, and I'm down with how quarterbacks help their team win, but and I do think that the running element of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen make them dynamic weapons, but it's not passer, so it's quarterbacking and it's playing and offensive weaponry, but it's not passing. I don't factor that in.
Anything.
What?
What does that have to do with anything?
It's about effectively running an efficient offense. That's the way I view it. I respect it. I think makes you a dangerous player and a very difficult player. Part of the reason why I think the Dolphins will not beat the Bills tomorrow, because Josh Allen pays that child support.
So you're saying Josh Allen's a more efficient passer than Tua? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Josh Allen's a more dangerous weapon than Tua.
And part of it is because he has a running element.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Max from Montreal.
Definitely not a more efficient quarterback than Tua, but efficient player.
More dynamic quarterback than Tua. But...
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Max from Montreal. Bonjour à vous deux. That means hi to you too. Hi, you too. Since Allen has a similar.
Well, that's a real Bonjour. Say that again.
Bonjour à vous deux.
I felt like you're gonna spit on me. Bonjour à vous deux.
That's what my wife does every time I say some French stuff to her. She's like,
yeah. Bonjour à vous deux.
Vous deux.
À vous deux. Bonjour à vous deux.
It's always funny. Since Allen has a similar skill set as Lamar, do the Bills just cut and paste the Ravens blueprint from last week? Thanks. It's similar in the sense that they're both quarterbacks who can hurt you with their legs. However, their running styles are completely different.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because Vic says my game plan was trash. So clearly Vic is not going to be replaying that game plan.
Yeah, but there was also a lot of Vic falling on the sword, if we're going to be honest about it.
He need to fall on the sword. Game plan was trash.
Is it his fault that Eli Apple decided to pass off Zay Flowers and let him run right by him?
Yeah, played less zone. Maybe if you played less zone, they wouldn't be running zone beaters and wouldn't be running crossing routes and feasting off people who are poorly passing off others.
You really want Eli Apple to cover Zay Flowers one-on-one?
I'd rather that than him in zone dropping people. Yeah, I would. I actually would.
Well, we weren't complaining about the Dolphins playing zone when they were shutting down teams for the good part of November and early December.
Name me the elite wide receiver they shut down.
Well, that's my argument. That was my argument using against me.
All I said was name me the elite wide receiver they shut down.
Well, they shut down Garrett Wilson because
he's not elite. He's not.
He's a very good wide receiver.
He's not elite.
Okay, well, how many have they been on their schedule? How many times have they been burned by an elite wide? CD Lamb had a big game against them.
Mm-hmm. Hit him with a crosser.
Correct. And then
Hopkins hit him with a crosser.
Yeah, but that's Vic Samo. I mean, he's not gonna go. He's not gonna go man right now. Again, I don't know that they have the corners to play man.
Do they have the corners to play anything?
Why, are you giving up on the season just because X is out? Really? Is that what we're doing here? Oh, come on, man.
There's viable replacements. I'm not even stressing about the Chubb situation, okay? X is a huge element of what they do defensively. And you don't have, with Chubb, you got Melvin Ingram. I know he's been on the practice squad, but Melvin Ingram's played 12 years in the NFL. He's got crap load of sacks.
Correct.
He's polished. And then you got Emmanuel Ogbah, who's literally produced 17 impactful plays in 200 defensive snaps. Like, I think I think he'll be all right. Now,
he's so all right. He was a healthy scratch last week.
Don't be disrespectful. You know why they.
Okay, fine. I'll make a deal with you. I will not be disrespectful because I like Emmanuel. He's a great guy, and he's done some good work under Brian Flores mostly. And you don't overblow what he's done, considering I explained to you earlier the circumstances of a lot of his.
I wrote in my column, it's in mop-up duty. Can you see?
I mean, getting a sack,
and then I put these things in, and you just ignore them. You just ignore them like they didn't happen. I said, okay, it was a lot of mop-up duty, but did he do it or did he not do it? If Cameron Good had done it, we would be talking about Cameron Good as a young, shining star, young guy that we got to develop and put him on the field more. But because it's Emmanuel Ogbah, we're like, it's mop-up duty.
No, because it's got to be supplemented. It's got to be supplemented by big plays in like tight game situations. And for example, tomorrow, get me a sack against Josh Allen in a big game when the outcome is
busy here. What's going on?
I'm moving the screen here. Yeah, I'm jumping up and down at the stadium. So anyway, again, it's almost because of that bad play last week that all of a sudden Eli Apple is complete garbage for lack of.
Eli Apple's been good in one game this season. One.
He's been always serviceable. I mean,
I said good. How many games has he been good in?
I mean, gee, how many games has Emmanuel been good in? I mean, come on.
The one he got a sack and an interception in. Put some respect on his
interception
name.
In the 70-20 game. That was really impactful.
Starting quarterback still on the field. Stop.
Lee Michael, thank you very much. Has the Finns back office told the media to not ask players, coaches' opinions on throwbacks versus the new look? Any info on the logo change?
We've asked questions, and everybody from the coaches to the players say they love the throwbacks. They want the throwbacks. The problem is the NFL will not give you your throwbacks. They will give it to you on select games, and you'll buy the merchandise at select opportunities because it's about money. And you obsess about these throwbacks is the exact reason why they won't give it to you.
And
you buy the new ones and the throwbacks, and they just sell more and more and more.
And I'm going to say this in Duck. I don't know what the clamoring. I mean, they're okay, they're fine, but I mean, is it because it brings back like the memories of the Super Bowl Dolphins? Because other than that, I mean, visually speaking, it's like.
No, the throwbacks are superior jerseys. I'm not even going to deny that. They look.
Hey, I mean,
but it's like. It's a nostalgia thing that they clearly are. It's not like I like what the NBA is doing, where they come out with these theme jerseys every year. Oh, come on. You don't like that? Oh, come on. You don't want a Heat Vice jersey? Come on. You don't want a Heat Culture jersey? Come on. See? No, that's that Montreal exposing you. Y'all had the ugliest uniforms anyway.
Oh, you didn't go there.
I did go there. I did go there.
Hey, all my Montreal peeps. Now you know what to do with Omar after that. After that massive diss. Oh man, Matt. Oh, Howie Boss. Do you think Tua has it in him to elevate this team if the defense is hobbled? Feels like we need him to step up and be a superhero the next few weeks, or we are cooked.
Yes.
Omar has never doubted. Omar is a believer, and me, show me.
I'm just waiting for it. It didn't happen last week. It clearly didn't happen last week. Let's hope it happens this week or the next week.
Okay.
Or the next season.
I'm sorry, did you say or the next season? Okay, let's hope it happens and you can elevate in this 5th NFL season. Cool.
Is there expiration limit on when a quarterback has to elevate and make a team a Super Bowl champion?
No, but as Bill Parcells says at some point, you are what your record says you are.
And his record says he's one of the most efficient and accurate quarterbacks in the NFL and has the highest winning percentage in NFL right now of current players that are not Aaron Rodgers.
The record in this case would be elevating his team. I'm not talking about he can put up all the gaudy stats he wants, which you will keep going to without mentioning the offense and guys being open quite a bit. Yes, I know he throws guys open sometimes, like every quarterback does. Yes, I know he makes tight window throws sometimes, like every quarterback does. Yes, he is one of. Yes, he's among the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL.
Deep ball producer.
Sorry?
Deep ball producer.
Yes.
One of the NFL's
and
best
I will
ball
say
producers.
he's thrown the ball this year deep very, very well. But what's missing from his resume, like it or not, is elevating at big moments down the stretch.
Not arguing.
Okay.
But can we not put last week's loss? I know he threw 2 interceptions, but can we try not to put last week's loss on him and actually put it on the defense?
But who did? I didn't.
Okay, I'm just saying. People were like, oh, he can't elevate his team in the biggest moments on the biggest stage. Clearly, he sucks. Well, the defense kind of pooped the bed last week.
Yeah. No question about that. It wasn't on him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Bernard, Omar, when the Dolphins win the division tomorrow, Josh Allen loses parental rights for the foreseeable future and will no longer be referred to as dad.
I don't think you can take somebody's dad name away from them. And you will lose. Listen, if I think that's right. And what's up, Bernard? I think that's right, because if they finally beat Buffalo on the biggest stage, they're the game of the week. They're the last NFL regular season game. They're your warm up for the playoffs. If you finally beat Buffalo, winning the AFC East for the first time since 2008, yeah, you can no longer say Josh Allen's your daddy. You just can't, because now you own him. Now but you'll probably play him the next week, give him a chance.
You don't own him. And here's the other thing too: if the Dolphins win, say like 52-48, is that really owning Josh Allen, or you found a way to win the game? I mean, I don't know. If that's
found a way to win the game. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to own Josh Allen, and in fact, I'm terrified of the redo, the do-over. Even if you beat him, then they have to come back here the next week. I mean, they might as well just stay. But yeah, I don't know what the weather looks like in Buffalo. But man, but as I've said from the very beginning of this season on this podcast, this season is going to have to go through Buffalo, and you got to exercise. Is that the right term when you
exorcise? Yes.
Exorcise your demons.
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would I have to exorcise? But anyway.
Well, exercise. I mean, you say it exercise, but it's pronounced exo. It's spelled EX. I'm tired. It says with an O instead of an E. Cap for life. Gentlemen, you guys are starting to make a lot of noise in the community. Congratulations on promoting to inspire growth. What community is that?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I mean,
thank you. I do appreciate and respect everybody who enjoys this podcast, follows this podcast, checks out our work on alldolphins.com. Everybody who has followed me and supported me in this. Come on, when it's a live chat, it's difficult for me to do.
There you go. Was it that tough?
No, it wasn't that tough. Yes, it was, because I had to move off the chat and the comments, and now I'm losing my place. And I'm trying to make sure we stay on tap with the comments. But thank you for everybody who continues to support us and continues to show love and continues to come by. Now, I'm gonna say it. Some of y'all been kind of light this week on checking out the podcast. At least go check out Behind Enemy Lines. It'll give you a great opportunity to learn about the Buffalo Bills. And hopefully you're watching this one, and maybe you watch Friday. Give a couple of those podcasts a play, because our numbers are a little short on what we're used to. But I understand where you're coming from. You're a heartbroken Dolphin fan. You just got pimp slapped into reality, and you don't want to hear or talk about anything Dolphins related. But if you love us, please go show us the support and give those some plays and let an advertisement run once or twice.
There you go.
Which is how we get paid.
Hey, Devin, thank you.
Devin Jordan says Ravens linebacker Patrick McQueen mentioned he picked up tails tendencies in the Dolphins offense. Do you think this McDaniel offense is too predictable? No, I don't think it's too predictable. I think I would love to hear Patrick Queen's perspective, thought process. Yes.
I heard it. It was on the Rich Eisen show, and he basically was asked about how the Ravens were able to stymie both the 49ers and the Dolphins, and he said both offensives have tells that they picked up on. And Rich Eisen was like, "Oh, what are those tells?" And Patrick Queen said, "I can't tell you because there's a chance we might play either of those teams again." The one thing he did say is, I don't remember exactly how he phrased it, but he said something along the lines of, "You need to hit those guys." But here's the thing. You get to this point of the season, it's all on tape, on video, whatever you want to say, that the Dolphins have certain things that very clearly they like doing. And it's not a big secret. It's a matter of when it's coming and executing it. But I don't, and it's from play to play. You can fool somebody and get them going the wrong way. But eventually, yeah, at certain times, I don't know if that they're picking up tells, but I mean, every team has tendencies. There's just no two ways about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think.
I'll give you an example. Sorry, Mike. I'll give you an example. Like last year, for the first 3 months of the season, the Dolphins were absolutely making a killing with the 15, 20-yard throw down the middle of the field where there was a deep slant or a deep end or whatever. And then the Chargers came in and it was like, you're not getting those. And we're going to jam the middle of the field and have fun with that. And all of a sudden, that game plan worked out perfectly well because they played off that tendency and the Dolphins were kind of caught off guard or whatever happened. And then the opener this year, the Dolphins kind of countered that. And what happened? Boom. The offense went completely nuts.
To me, and this is based on what I've seen, it's the cloud coverage for me. You can put a cloud coverage. You just have to have safeties over the top of them. But if you take away the first 15 yards in the middle of the field and force Tua to throw outside for everything, I think you'll be more effective. But, especially if you're sitting on routes, which some of the linebackers were, it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's the first time I'd heard that about the Dolphins having tells, and I'm quite curious what they are. I'm sure every team has tells, and every team, and coaches adjust to how teams are playing them. So, sometimes those adjustments are good, sometimes they're bad.
True. Our buddy Noel, thank you, Noel, who will be tasked with helping Cater Boohoo not get embarrassed. That's not very nice, Noel. It's funny. It's funny as hell, but it's not very nice. Cater Boohoo. Funny, but not very nice. Nobody's going to be helping Cater not get embarrassed. Chances are Cater's going to be in the slot. It's going to be up to him to get the job done, unless they come up with something different if the Bills stick Diggs in the slot.
If the Bills if the Bills put Diggs in the slot, then it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Unfortunately, I think you're going to have to do that because if the Bills put Diggs in the slot, you're going to have Ramsey follow him in the slot, and then he's going to run crossers and drags across the middle of the field and option routes, and it is what it is. I'm playing 10 on 10 and Diggs and Ramsey's on Diggs. That's how I'm playing it, but that's just me.
And then he's covering Gabriel Davis, even though he is completely like this.
Eli Apple or Cater Kohu on the boundary.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that's how they're going to play him, to be very honest, but that certainly would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Why do they change up tomorrow? What Terry Nielsen asks.
Terry, thank you.
what the Dole they change up tomorrow? Rollouts on offense or shadowing on defense? Any other curveballs in their pocket? Have they unveiled the stuff they had in training camp? We have not seen. Yes, they have, and they're kind of getting to it now that the offense has to evolve with Tua, with Jalen Waddle out. It's more tight ends, more fullback. I still think that they can utilize your Pro Bowl fullback a little bit more. There are a number of plays that I saw during training camp that probably still haven't seen. I get it. They were probably just working on that package, seeing what it looks like, what it could look like. But in my mind, it's time to dust it off. If you can feel like you can play a physical brand of football with the Buffalo Bills. I like a lot of their I formation stuff. They rarely ever use it.
Okay, Matt.
I like a lot of their pistol stuff. They rarely ever use it.
Thank you, Matt. But Matt, I'm going to take issue with you on this one. No one loves to choke in key games like the Buffalo Bills, including these Josh Allen teams. The Bills team gets tight if you can keep it close in the fourth. Thanks for the streams, guys. Matt, you do realize that the Bills in the regular season in December and January games have won 13 in a row. I don't know if that's choking in key games very much. So there's that. So no, they have made. What I will say is they can get sloppy at times, and that goes. Josh Allen certainly can be guilty of that. There was a play toward the end of last week's game against New England. They were nursing a 27-21 lead. It was a fourth quarter, I want to say about halfway through, and he scrambled up the middle around midfield, and he took a shot as he went down. But right before he went down, he tried to lateral to one of his teammates, which was very, very careless. The ball wound up on the ground. Bills were able to recover. So Allen is prone to making those types of plays, but to call the Bills a choke team, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. Our buddy Ohio John, thank you. Do you think it bothers the players or Ross that visiting fans still come in with huge numbers for a game like this? I want Hard Rock to become takeover proof. Yeah, good luck with that one.
Nah. If it would bother them, then they should be bothered when they do it to the opposition, and they do it to the opposition. Yeah. This is just the nature of the sport. When the Dolphins go on the West Coast, anywhere on the West Coast, and that includes Denver. I don't know if Denver's considered the West Coast or not.
Mountain time zone.
Yeah, they take over the West Coast when they go. Supposedly there was a good contingent in Baltimore. I don't know, but I wasn't there.
Well, they do the MetLife takeover every year. I mean, they had it was borderline a home game when they played the Chargers in the opener.
It's always been a home game when they played Chargers.
Yeah, no. There was another game they played that almost felt like a home game.
Arizona was always relatively a home game. It's. I mean,
obviously the players would prefer having to be a full pro Dolphin crowd, but they're not going to sweat about it. And I don't know that it's ever going to happen, becoming takeover proof, because South Florida is such a transient community.
What people don't realize is most people come to games because it's for the event and for the status that it brings. Like, hell, I'm showing up in the first quarter of the game because I actually have a job that requires me to be in the studio, and I don't get to leave until kickoff, doing QM work. And while I'm coming in, there's still a good 10,000 people still walking into the first quarter of the game. Like, are you kidding me? So don't think that this is just all rabid fan base, people who bought tickets. No. And people just have season tickets just to have season tickets. And sometimes they often sell them.
Yep. And there's certain games you're going to be. I mean, there's so many people from New York who live in Miami. So many people from Chicago.
I believe we were talking about this during Dallas week, and somebody sent Alex Solana, one of my WQAM co-hosts of the pregame show. They were $250 tickets face value. He made $2,000 off them. So on a $500 investment, he made $1,500 profit. Mm-hmm. Like, people, be real here. Like, be real. Be real with yourself here. A lot of these people, do not have tickets because they have tickets because they have the passion for it. But if they see an opportunity to maximize their money and be able to afford the season tickets for next year, they're going to seize on that opportunity. That's just the reality of it.
And you can't blame them. Alexander, thank you. In your opinion, Frank Smith really deserved being a top head coach candidate?
You poop hard.
I don't know. I'm not inside the building. I mean, all I can go is what Mike McDaniel talks about everything being a collaborative effort, but I think it's Mike McDaniel's offense. He's the one who calls the plays. By the same token, on the flip side, the NFLPA conducted a survey of its players, asking to rank or to evaluate, give grades on their own offensive coordinators, and then they tell who got the highest scores. And lo and behold, Frank Smith had the highest score of any offensive coordinator in the NFL. Does that mean he's ready to be a head coach? All I know is his name is mentioned every time there's an opening. It's been mentioned for Carolina, for the Raiders, for the Chargers jobs. So there's got to be something to it.
When you have one of the top-ranked offenses in the league, even though you're not necessarily the play caller, you're going to draw some interest. The only concern I have, and I like Frank Smith, the only concern I have is the soft-spoken nature. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he can't be a good head coach or he's a leader of men. I just find it's unorthodox when it comes to head coaches. You see what I'm saying?
No, it's unusual because he talks to us in the media, and a lot of times it's like, what's he saying? What's he saying? And then you wonder, it's like, can he be in the front of a room and command the room?
Yeah. That's my biggest. But then I had the same concern about Mike McDaniel, and lo and behold,
there you go.
Like you watch Mike McDaniel in some of those pressers from the 49ers, and you're like, really? And lo and behold, guy can command a room. Correct.
Well, also, I mean, as we see on Hard Knocks, I mean, he's obviously not shy about raising his voice or using salty language with his players. And maybe Frank Smith's that way behind the scenes. Although we haven't seen him. We talk about never seeing Fangio on.
We saw Fangio
on Hard Knocks. We haven't seen Frank Smith. I mean, not one time.
Yeah. Well, I think they took notes on the fact that we said, "Oh, what are they scared of Fangio?" Fangio was on Hard Knocks. He even sat down for a confessional.
I know.
Ain't that some
scared
shit?
of Frank Smith?
Huh? No, I said Fangio, but yeah. You say we need to dare them on Frank Smith?
Maybe.
It's
an offshoot of something we have. Devin, thanks again. Your thoughts on Bills Mafia taking over Fort Lauderdale Beach?
Enjoy it. Fort Lauderdale and Buffalo, you go together. Like if they took over Miami Beach or Miami, I'd be a little bit more concerned. You can have Fort Lauderdale.
If Bills win tomorrow, they will be titled the Dolphins' baby daddy. JDM Wizard. Thank you for the contribution. Will they?
Hey man, we know the deal. You know what Josh Allen's done to the Dolphin franchise over the years. You absolutely
yes, we do.
Should Tua
Gabriel. Go ahead, Noah.
No, Tua should not be comeback player of the year after what he went through.
Why not?
He didn't die on the field.
You think DeMar Hamlin should be comeback player of the year, even though he's been active
like twice?
Is it even twice? I know he played against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
In week 4. I don't know if he's ever played again.
He's alive.
I understand that, but I mean the comeback. Oh, he's played. He's 5 games. Oh,
he's alive.
So
that's kind of the ultimate comeback. Death to life.
I understand that comeback took place like last.
Yeah. No.
No, dude, I'm not the only one who's saying this. I mean, is he really a comeback player of the year when he's played 5 games and I think I just saw like 17 snaps on defense?
Dead.
I understand that, but that happened last year.
So you think he should be comeback player of the year? But he actually played in the game this year.
And there's also he had cardiac arrest where he was revived fairly quickly. I mean, I get the severity.
Dead.
Okay.
Alive.
Okay, you have your answer.
Like, who's unseating him for comeback player of the year? Tua with a couple concussions? Like,
and people are talking about Joe Flacco, but I mean, he didn't come back from anything. It's just
damn, that's a good one, though.
well,
Hold on.
dude,
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Back from he was employed. He was playing in the league at the end of last year. He played against the Dolphins.
Yeah, but his career was dead, and then he came back this season. Come back. It fits.
Come back from retirement.
Okay. Come back from being an outcast. Nobody wanted you. Then every team lost quarterbacks, and you're quarterback number 12 on the free agent list, and you come back in the league and you lead the Browns to the playoffs. Actually, it fits. Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year.
There you go. Jason, thank you very much. What can Tua improve on, and how much higher of a ceiling can he realistically get to? And if we don't beat the Bills this year, then when? Thanks. I'll address that first.
Oh.
Jason, I'm going to be very honest with you. At this stage of his career, what he can improve on is consistency.
Killer instinct.
Sorry?
Killer instinct.
What's killer instinct?
Putting a team away.
Should they certainly put the Broncos away?
Taking life.
Okay, so to me, it's consistency and how much of a higher ceiling can he realistically get to? Oh, sorry. Can improve on consistency, and then how is it you phrase it? The big tennis balls in big games.
We're talking about the same thing. Killer instinct.
Sorry?
We're talking about the same thing. Killer instinct. Like you gotta take a life.
To me, it's in big moments, being big in big moments.
That's what I'm talking about.
And how much of a higher of a ceiling can he realistically get to?
Once he does that, he's a complete quarterback. He's a complete killer. Now, the assassin is missing.
Okay, fair enough.
No. What was the rest of that question?
All right. If we don't build this year, then one. They beat him last year. Jason, they beat him last year. If you mean for the AFC East title, yeah. If they don't win the AFC East title this year, it'll be like, holy moly. When Josh Allen retires, I mean, I'm seriously. I talk about everything was there for them.
Yeah.
And the Bills were shaky at 6-6. They were on their bye, facing a game at Kansas City.
All they had to do was beat Tennessee. It would have been theirs. You didn't take care of business. And these are the things that happen that come up and bite you in the booty when you don't take care of business. And you put yourself in this situation, and now you got to dig yourself out. And I think that they have the potential to dig themselves out. Do I think the odds are stacked against them? Yes. Vegas thinks the odds are stacked against them, even at home. Josh Allen is coming in here with the confidence and the swagger that he is about to slay a dragon. And who is your dragon slayer? Is it going to be Jalen Ramsey? Is it going to be Christian Wilkins? Is it going to be Raheem Mostert? Is it going to be Tyreek Hill? Like, is it going to be Tua Tagovailoa? Is it going to be Durham Smythe? Like, you need a dragon slayer. And
this is where quarterbacks get paid the big money.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Humble legend, thank you. If Mike McDaniel doesn't make a deep run in the playoffs, will Stephen Ross be tempted to bring in Jim Harbaugh?
Absolutely not. Stephen Ross has come out and said he will never hire Jim Harbaugh as an NFL head coach. He's flat out said that. Stop. And he's very happy with him being at Michigan. He said if somebody takes him from the NFL, it's not going to be me. He's had how many? 3 coaching searches. He's not interviewed Jim Harbaugh.
Well, he did interview him in 2011.
That was whose job was that?
Tony Sperano.
Oh damn! Yeah, I forgot. There wasn't even an opening.
No, correct.
But he said he's not hiring Stephen. He's gone on record and said he's not hiring Harbaugh like a zillion times. And folks, Mike McDaniel, even if he loses 2 straight games now, Mike McDaniel will probably get a contract extension, not be put on the hot seat. Like there's too much that you see that you know this team is going in the right direction, that you know they don't have the dysfunction. Time out on me.
Time out. Unless I'm severely mistaken, he signed a 4-year contract when he was hired. They're not signing him to a contract extension heading into his third year if it goes south.
Brother, trust me, they're going to sign him to a contract extension. Trust me.
Okay, unless you know something.
Trust me.
Maybe
Not, yes.
Okay.
You don't know. You're not.
You don't let your coach go into his final season of his contract without an extension if you're keeping him long term. Next year is not the final year of his contract.
Excellent. Excellent point. Excellent point by you.
So there's again, this to me goes back to the thing. Why is the rush to like tie yourselves?
Yeah.
To quarterback and coach if the results are not what you want them to be this time. The results have been good.
Because you got excuses now, brother. You got built-in excuses.
And I get this, and I did.
You don't have built-in excuses?
Public service announcement. Okay, I did it.
Oh my gosh. Did I freeze? Did P freeze? Somebody in the comments let me know. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Okay. Hold on.
Public service announcement. I missed it. Go ahead. Give me the public service.
Public service announcement. This story on alldolphins.com with some research on injuries for the Dolphins around the league. I did additional research, and I'm going to update the story either tonight if my headache goes away or tomorrow with even more research.
You got all day tomorrow. Go ahead.
Correct. To illustrate where the Dolphins stand in terms of injuries relative to the league. And I know somebody put out today that their offensive line among contenders has had the fewest starts from their starters. But it's not, everything is not like black and white. Oh, woe is the Dolphins. They've had it worse than everybody. That's not accurate. Okay. So look for it on alldolphins.com.
So who's had it worse? Poupart? What's the story? Okay. Now
the story. I have it like away from my desk. I'm sitting on my couch right now and I'm not moving. So.
Oh, okay. This is Grumpy Migraine Poupart.
Yes.
It's a different guy.
I'm soldiering through right now because this migraine has not.
Yes.
I've already addressed this one.
All right. Let's kill some of these questions and then head on out to the rest of our weekend. I'd like to watch some NFL football as well. Tua's paying Omar the table scum, he says. No, I just believe in Tua and always have. No money required.
That's funny. Whoop, hold on. What's this one here? Kazim, does the front office realize they've struck gold with Mike McDaniel? He might legitimately be a top 10 or top 5 head coach already, and moving on from him would be a horrid mistake. Again, Kazim, understand what we're saying. We are talking up under the hypothetical of the season goes south. I'm not questioning Mike McDaniel's ability as a head coach, but the goal is to make some headway into the playoffs. Okay, if the goal is strictly to get into the playoffs, they've once they got in the playoffs. We want to be fair about this. Am I right? Am I right?
You're right.
It was an interesting one here. Dolphin Tua mid. If I could make a player good by wishing Harrington would have been a Hall of Famer. Okay. You looking at these? I'm trying to come up with questions here. Dan B, go ahead. It's addressed to you.
Omar, I don't think so. Not after his comments on Hard Knocks on Tuesday. His mentality of effort does not make me feel like he's the right discipline. He has the right discipline. Will change my mind when he wins the big game. I have no idea what that comments.
Okay, so we'll hide it. Mr. Charles has an interesting one here. Do you believe in paying someone before their value is at their highest? I don't believe in making a long-term commitment to somebody without knowing where you can go with him. That's my personal philosophy. Or having a strong conviction of where you can go with him.
Value is at their highest. Yes, I do believe in paying someone before their value is at the highest. I think that's smart business, but the escalating price of quarterbacking just continues to rise. So you're going to have to figure that. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. You're going to figure that out one way or the other. Omar be playing both sides. No, I actually just say my opinion. Like,
hold on 1 second. Somebody is suggesting that I have not seen this. Whoa, hold on. Yep.
What?
Javon Holland has been downgraded to questionable.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's not good.
Nope, it's not.
Confirmed.
Okay. That's not fun.
G, what is worse, beating Buffalo tomorrow and playing Buffalo again next week, or losing tomorrow? Well, if you're already saying that,
Buffalo tomorrow and playing Buffalo again next week and losing tomorrow. What?
Well, in that case, Dean, then it's better to lose tomorrow because you're not under your scenario. You're not what happens next week.
Give me a minute, baby. Give me a minute.
I think this might be our signal that we need to wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
And let's look for a couple of really quick comments here, and then we are going to go ahead and wrap it up.
So why can't Tua have a perfect passer rating to match? Does he look like he's got the weaponry to give you a perfect passer rating? Just a serious question.
Does he need the weaponry to have a perfect passer rating?
Yeah, you do. Kind of do.
Really?
All righty, folks. It's been fun. I apologize if we haven't gotten to your question. It's all love. We will see you tomorrow live right after the game. Win or loss, we'll be here. And same thing the rest of the season. Am I optimistic? No, I'm not optimistic because you do not have good enough cornerbacks.
Okay, one last one. Bronx fans, why can't Tua wear shields so defenders can't see him staring down receivers with his eyes? They wouldn't.
Are you crazy?
They would be. First of all, the defenders would see a quarterback staring by the direction of his head.
Tua's like the most look-off quarterback in.
Oh my God!
Don't you do it? Don't you do it? Don't you do it? They will tell you Tua does the no look. Don't do it, poop. Just walk away. Just walk away. See, your screen froze. Tuanon's already after you. All right, folks. Don't you do it, poop.
I'm over here, so. Gang,
don't you do it. Just walk away, Poupard. Just walk away peacefully.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll back away from the keyboard. Just hold your hand up. Just walk away.
I'm off. Hit end stream. Have a good one, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.